Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with yet another client tutorial. This time I want to do something with color, so I decided to do a nice green eye look. So if you guys are interested to see how I created this look, then please keep on watching.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger?
So as usual, to start off with, I'm going to be highlighting her décolletage area. So I'm taking this Vani-T like liquid highlighter, and it's just in a nice like bronzy gold shade, and I'm just popping that on her collarbones and shoulders and just blending it out with a buffer brush. And then because I wanted something a bit more bronze and intense, I'm also going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Glow, and this is a liquid highlighter. Again, this is in a nice like bronze shade to match her fake tan, and I'm just putting that in the same area and then blending it out again. By the way, sorry if I sound a bit weird. I have a bit of a cold, so my nose is blocked because it's winter here in Australia. But yeah, so once I've blended that out, I'm taking this Huda Beauty highlighter just to set the liquid parts down, and because this is a lighter highlighter, it will just make her collarbones pop even more. So now that her chest is nice and glowy, I'm going to start with priming her face. So I'm taking the Mercier Radiance primer. This is my favorite primer ever, and just blending this all over. And then I'm also taking another primer, which is the Cover FX Dewy primer. This primer is really good as well, just for that extra bit of hydration.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger between the words?
So next, of course, I'm moving on to brows, and I'm taking my usual Anastasia Beverly Hills brow palette and just taking the shade dark brown, and her eyebrows are really nice and full naturally, so I'm just filling in any sparse areas with this powder.
To take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all.
So now that they're all nicely filled in, I'm taking my Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Custard, and then just carving the underneath and the tops of her eyebrows.
Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head.
So next to prime the lids, I'm using this Nars Smudge Proof Eye Base, and I ended up just taking the light shade because I'm using color. I wanted it to really pop on the lid, so I'm just going in with the lighter shade and just placing that all over and then blending it out with the concealer brush. So to start the eyeshadow, I'm going in with my Morphe 35B palette, and I'm just taking that second green, the top one I went to take, but then I realized it was a shimmer. So I'm taking the second one, and I've never done like a green eye look before because every time I've tried, the eyeshadows always turn out blue. So that's why today I finally had like eyeshadows that were actually green. So yeah, I thought it would be really fun to do. I also think green goes really nicely on people with like dark features. I don't know why. Like it'd go nice on people with blonde features as well, but I feel like with dark and green it just goes really nice together.
Now we won't go back home today, eh? Until the very last hour. We still got a few more days to slay, eh? It's gonna get so much louder.
So once that first shade is as intense as I want it, I'm going with this Huda Beauty, I think this is called like the Emerald palette. Yeah, and this is like another green. It's a bit darker, and it does have that little bit more of like a bluey undertone, but it is still green. And I'm just putting this just below that other shade just to intensify it a little bit more. And as you can see with this look, there is going to be quite a bit of fallout, so I do recommend doing eyes first just so it's easy to clean up afterwards. So now that that shade is buffed in, I'm taking the Morphe 35B palette again. I'm just taking the darkest green in the palette, which is just like a nice emerald green, and I'm placing this on the just the outer corners, and then I do drag it through the crease just a little bit, like whatever's left over on the brush. And now to darken it even more, I'm taking this shade from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault collection, the Dark Magic palette. Sorry for all the different palettes, but I don't have an eyeshadow palette that has like all green shadows, so I had to take a few different ones. So yeah, this is from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault collection, and I'm just placing this again in the outer corner. And then you'll see me later, I go in with black just to further darken it, because we want that outer corner nice and smoky.
Take back everything and lose it all, lose it all, lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs.
So with color, you just want to make sure you're really blending everything together, like going back between brushes just to make sure everything is nice and seamless. So as you can see here, I'm about to take the black, and this I'm just focusing in the very outer corner just to get it nice and smoky and dramatic. This makeup look that I'm doing is actually on another makeup artist. Her Instagram is makeup by _age, and she's really good as well. So I'll leave her like social media and the description box down below. She's such a sweetheart. So next I'm going to be cutting the crease. Of course, I'm taking my Too Faced glitter glue, and just because with her eyes her crease is a bit lower, so I'm cutting above her natural crease, because she did tell me when she opens her eyes the eyeshadow tends to transfer, so I cut it quite high, so there would be no transfer of the pigment. So next for the pigment, I'm taking this Peaches and Cream shadow in the shade Rattlesnake. So in the pan you can see it's like that brown with a tinge of like green, and now on the lid, like I was so surprised, it was such like a vibrant green, like goldy shade. It's so pretty. I think it depends like what eyeshadows you put around it, it can change the color. So yeah, I love this pigment. It looks so cool with the green eyeshadow. And yeah, I'm just patting this on with a little flat concealer brush. And then here, I'm pretty much just taking a mixture of the shadows I used before just to buff out the outer corner so there's no harsh lines. So I'm just doing little back and forth motions to make sure it's nice and blended. My pinky is really annoying me. I don't know why I always do that. It's just like a weird habit or something. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going in like with the same colors I put on her eyes before just to blend out that outer corner.
Why do I feel like I linger
So once I'm happy with how blended the outer corners are, I'm taking my Maybelline Eye Studio and my Inglot 31T brush and just doing a line across her lash line, just so when we put the lashes on they have something to blend into. Also, by the way, my head like gets in front of the frame a lot of the time, which is really annoying, so just ignore that and focus on the makeup. So now that the top half of the eyeshadow is done, I'm just cleaning out all that fallout with micellar water, and then I'm going to move on to lashes. So I'm using the Tatti Lashes in TR4. I didn't actually put them on till a bit later because I kept forgetting and the glue kept drying. So for now we're moving on to foundation. I'm taking the Hourglass Vanish foundation, and this is in the shade Golden Neutral or Natural, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check and leave it down below for you guys. So at the start when I was putting on, I was a bit worried because it looked quite warm, but I was just like, you know what, I'm going to work with it and make it work. So it is really full coverage. It says you only need half a pump, which I think is a bit of a stretch. Like, she does have really beautiful clear skin, but I still ended up using probably like 1.5 pumps to 2 pumps, which is still pretty good because this foundation is quite expensive. It's good that you don't need to use as much of it. So yeah, I'm just buffing this in, bringing it down her neck with the Real Techniques foundation buffer brush. And then for concealer, I'm taking my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium and placing that under her eyes forehead, down the nose, cupid's bow, and chin, because we want this look to be super full coverage. And to put that on, I'm just using my Base Maker sponge by Model Rock. These are my favorite sponges ever. They're so soft, and they come in a bunch of cool colors as well, and are super affordable.
Why do I feel like I linger between the...
So now that the concealer is all nice and blended out, I'm just taking my Laura Mercier translucent powder and just pushing this under her eyes and also around her smile lines and chin, and just any areas where she would get oily. And then to set the rest of her face, I'm taking my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC30 and just a nice big fluffy brush, and then just pressing this all over. And as you can see now, the foundation does match her body, so it did look a bit too warm at the start, but it ended up working out just fine, which is really good. And yeah, I'm just pressing this powder in everywhere.
Over your body and over your soul, we're gonna take back everything and lose it all, lose it all, lose it all.
So after I do this, I remember the lashes. She had to keep reminding me because I kept forgetting. So yeah, I'm just placing this on with my Model Rock tweezers and just putting them on and pushing them up to make sure they stay nice and curled. And now we're moving on to bronzer. So again, this is the Fenty Island Ting bronzer. I can't take myself seriously when I say that. And I'm just using this. It's more like, I would use it more as like a contour shade. It's not super warm like Matte Give Me Sun. So I am putting it everywhere, but as you'll see later, I'm going to take Matte Give Me Sun just to add that warmth back in, just because this bronzer isn't as like warm as I wanted it.
I wonder what went wrong today. Why do I feel like I linger?
So here, yep, I'm taking Matte Give Me Sun. I actually cannot live without this. Bronzer is just, it just makes the biggest difference in the world. So I'm just putting this pretty much everywhere I put that Fenty bronzer, just a light layer just to get that extra bit of warmth. How many times am I going to say warm? And now I'm going to be moving on to blush. So I'm taking this Sugar Peach Wet and Dry Face and Eye Palette. Gosh, that was like a tongue twister. And I'm mixing the peachy shade and the pinky shade, and I'm putting this on her cheeks and then pushing it back, because this palette, all of the powders have a really nice like glow to them. When you put on highlighter, it just blends in really nicely with the blush. So after I've put the blush on, I'm taking my Doll Beauty highlighter again. I just can't stop using this. It's so good. The shade matches like every skin type, and it just like melts into the skin. Like, it is super intense, so you don't even need a lot, and it just looks so good. Like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all, lose it all, lose it all.
Now that we're all nice and glowy, I'm just cleaning up that bronzer with the same sponge and some translucent powder. And then here I'm just going to be setting her brows with the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 4. And I'm just brushing her hairs upwards. And then after I do this, I just brush off the remainder of the bake. So here, yeah, you can see me grab the Pixie Pigment by Peaches and Cream. I don't know why I accidentally cut out me applying it, but I pretty much just put that in her inner corner. And then now I'm finishing off the eyes by going in with those same green shades we used on the top and just running them through underneath just to get that same smoky effect underneath her eye.
Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got a few more days to slay, it's gonna get so much louder.
So now that we're done with the rest of the eyes, I'm just taking this Maybelline Expression Kajal black pencil, and I'm just running this through her waterline just to make the look a bit more dramatic. And then here I'm just brushing off any fallout and any of the remaining bake just to make sure it's all nice and clean under there. And then I'm moving on to mascara. So for mascara, I'm just taking my Maybelline Lash Sensational and just on a disposable mascara one, and I'm just brushing it up through her top and bottom lashes, just making sure there's a nice black coat on every lash. And then here I just grabbed a Q-tip just to clean up any mascara once it had dried if there was any fallout. And then I'm moving on to lip liner. So the lip liner I'm using is the Morphe lip liner in the shade Sweet Tea. It's a nice like brown nude, and then I'm going in with the MAC Yash lipstick. This is one of my favorite nude lip combos. And then just for some gloss, I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills gloss in the shade Undressed, and I'm just putting this straight on top just because I love glossy lips and I think they look really good on everyone. And now pretty much the makeup look is done, so I'm just going to be setting her face. So I'm taking the Skindinavia oil control setting spray and just spraying this all over. And then again I'm going to take another setting spray. I take the Iconic London Prep Setting Glow in the original shade, and I spray this over her face and her chest area just for a bit of extra added glow. So I've left in a clip with sound on so you guys can hear her reaction to the makeup because I think it was really cute. So yeah, it's just coming up now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like now the foundation it matches. Yeah. Yeah, because it looks really... I'm gonna go buy it. Yeah. I'm gonna buy all these. I'm just saying for the year. Oh my god. Can I take this photo on my Instagram?
So this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun filming something with colour and something I've never done before. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!
I wonder what went wrong today.